Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Battleground 2017 predictions video. And I haven't made a predictions video in a while, so, why not do one for Battleground, I guess, Now, this pay-per-view has a history of being, very forgettable. There's never been a very memorable Battleground. A couple of years ago, you had The Undertaker appearing on Battleground because they were desperate for, something to happen, anything to happen. But once again, I have to say, another pay-per-view. They just had a pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. Every 2 weeks, the pay-per-view is a pay-per-view here, a pay-per-view there, everywhere a pay-per-view. Old McDonald had a fucking pay-per-view. Enough! Had enough already. Too many fucking pay-per-views. How much wrestling can a person take? Anyway, let's take a look at this fucking card. Sami Zayn and Mike Canellis in the most exciting rematch of all time. Bitch boy, cab driver, Sami Zayn. Today, will this pay-per-view be the time when we finally get them to see him drive the cab, beep, beep, down to the ring? Of course it won't, so it'll be uneventful. But I'm expecting Mike Canellis to lose here because, they got to do the 50-50 booking. If they don't do the 50-50 booking, all is lost. We can't have, somebody winning, and maintaining the momentum. We have to have, the other guy come. And even though we just got there, they're going to have him lose already. This is what they hired this guy to do. This other Mike Bennett, the indie darling. Of course they got to get the little name change in there. You thought it was, Mike Bennett? Oh, nope, it's Mike Canellis. I mean, McMahon's obsessed with just changing names, for fuck's sakes. I mean, even putting Daniel Bryan's name backwards. His name is Bryan Daniel. Somebody had to change it around. Like, the fuck is the point? Change the name. They give them this gimmick that no one even fucking cares about. Instead of being the brash character that he was in Ring of Honor and TNA, like this rebellious character, they give him the cuck gimmick, which is just bizarre. The fact that he took the name of Maria. How is anybody going to respect this guy or think he's tough when he takes the girl's name? And of course, the social justice warriors are going to invade this video and attack this comment in this video, saying that I'm being misogynistic. Well, go fuck yourselves. I'm going to watch myself a bra and panties match, so suck it. Anyway, you've got Lana, I think, is going to win the 5-way match to determine the #1 contender for Naomi. I was thinking maybe it's going to be Charlotte, but they're not going to go that route. Charlotte, they've made her so bland and boring. Just another face on the roster. They made her look like Noam Dar, for fuck's sakes. The same way Noam Dar is on Raw, that's how Charlotte is on SmackDown. I mean, my God. Yeah, and I actually did say that. It's not her fault. It's fucking creative's fault, for fuck's sakes. I mean, how can you take one of the most charismatic female wrestlers? All you people say, I want a Divas Revolution, I want a Women's Revolution, whatever the fuck they're calling it these days. And I don't know, everybody is like so hung up on Sasha Banks still to this day. Who the fuck cares about her? Sasha Banks is one of the least charismatic. She's not even in this match, but this is all I see when I go online. Sasha Banks, Sasha Banks. I see people saying they want to eat out Sasha Banks' ass. What ass? She's got a flat ass. There's no ass there. How can you eat an ass if it doesn't exist? It's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, if Sasha Banks farted, you probably couldn't even hear shit. I mean, you wouldn't even hear it. You don't have an ass. Let's move on. But I think Tamina's going to help Lana win. I think they really want to try to make a big deal out of Lana. And it's a good idea. Why not do something with her? If you could do something with Lana and it could be good and entertaining. Hell, I just want to look at fucking Lana. I don't even fucking care what she does in the ring. You nerds could nerd out over the wrestling. Oh man, Lana sucks because she doesn't know how to do a springboard fuck me in the ass lock. I mean, what? You know, like you people like Veronica, back in the day, we didn't even care about women's wrestling. Yeah, that's right. We were misogynistic. We didn't care. All we cared about was how big Trish Stratus's boobs were. That's all we fucking cared about. All we fucking cared about is when the cameraman would get another good shot of Lita's thong so we could see a part of her ass. That's all we fucking cared about. That's all we wanted to see. We didn't care who did a fucking bulldog headlock from the top rope. We didn't care who did a fucking somersault plancha. No one fucking cares. Nobody cares about women's wrestling except for the most desperate nerds on the internet who are trying to impress somebody. Look how much of a social justice warrior I am. Look how much of a cuck I am. I love women. Hey guys, come watch my video on YouTube and see how much I love women as I praise everybody that is of the female persuasion. You people are fucking stupid. You're acting like a bunch of assholes already with the women's wrestling. We all know that secretly you jerk off to the fucking women that you're the same women that you're praising for the great wrestling. That's what you say that you want, but what you really want in your subconscious is something totally different. So why don't you just come out and admit it and stop acting so annoying already? I'm not misogynistic, honestly, girls. So you know you could fuck me anytime. You know, that's what you're expecting. You're expecting that some girl is gonna watch your video, slide into your DMs. What is this like sliding into your DMs? It's sort of like how Macaulay Culkin slid on his knees in Home Alone 2. Whee! You know, like fucking how he slid under the Maitre D's fucking legs and went right in the elevator. Is that how you slide into somebody's DMs? You know, and you're hoping that the girl's going to slide in your DMs and offer to have sex with you because I'm so impressed at the way how you described how you love women's wrestling. It touched my heart. Now I'm going to touch your penis. It doesn't work that way. You fucking monkeys. You fucking morons. You fucking mamalukes. Jesus Christ. No one cares. Nakamura is going to beat Baron Corbin, which is just fucking sad because as we all know, the Money in the Bank winner has to always lose. He'll win the world title, but he only has to lose 16 more matches before he gets to cash in. And Nakamura, oh, we don't want to upset the internet fans. You know, we don't want to upset these guys, you know, because these are the guys that are going to bring wrestling into the future. Remember those a bunch of morons that were standing around in the parking lot having a moment of silence for that wrestler in NXT? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I forget the name of the guy, the wrestler. It's like Johnny something that's in NXT. And his tag team partner broke up with him. And people were actually mourning it in the parking lot and somebody recorded it. Those are the wrestling fans that McMahon is trying to appeal to nowadays. AJ Styles will beat Kevin Owens. He just won the title, but they got to have this match anyway because it was already advertised. AJ had already won the Battle Royal on SmackDown. We've already seen this match 90 times already, but we're going to see it again. So, you know, there you go with that. Then you've got the Usos and New Day. Pretty obvious they're going to have the Usos win here. They're not going to just have New Day come along again and just suddenly win the match. It doesn't work that way. They're not going to have them just come back. This is how it's always been with the tag titles. You have this team that's like chasing the titles for a year, and then they keep trying to win the titles, and then they don't end up winning the titles in the end. You know, it's sort of like the Dudley's mentality, chasing the titles for an entire year and then never getting to win them. That's how it's going to be like with New Day. It's just in reverse. They're going to wrestle the Usos 1,000 times because there's no other tag teams on SmackDown. Show me a tag team on SmackDown besides these two. So when you've got such little options, you're not going to have anybody else to work with. You're not going to be able to have any fresh matchups because there's no new teams. What happened to American Alpha? But, well, one of them is Kurt Angle's son, apparently. So that's, that team went down the drain. So you don't have anybody left. You don't have anyone left. When they started the brand split, this is why they should just end this stupid brand split already, because they've divided things up so far, they're stretching themselves way too thin. They don't even have any guys to do a tag division with. They now the tag division on Raw is bigger. It's now SmackDown only has like 2 teams. There's nobody else. There's nobody else for these guys to wrestle. So pretty obvious the Usos are going to retain. If they give it to New Day, they're retarded because the Usos are like one of the most entertaining things on the show. Can you believe they had these guys yelping like a bunch of fucking morons for years and years? And they could have been doing, this angry heel gimmick that's working for them. Then you have Cena and Rusev in a flag match. Cena's one of the biggest stars. He's away for like half a year. And what do they do with him? They put him in a flag match with Rusev. Obviously, Cena is going to win this one. And, it's like at this point, they've already ruined Rusev. He's like somewhere on the level of Bray Wyatt. They built this guy up, built him up. He was going to be like a megastar, but they failed to completely pull the trigger with him. They had like a good year with Rusev. I mean, good for him, though. It was pretty boring. They could have booked it better, but at least he was one of the few guys who was dominant. At least he was one of the few guys who was actually building momentum. It was a lot of boring TV and a lot of endless matches with Jack Swagger, but you could say that he was going somewhere. But here we are in a flag match. They've made him cut his hair, do his beard differently, but in the end, it's all going to amount to the same thing. They're going to get high on Rusev for a few months and then lose interest in him, much like everybody else on the roster. It's like, who's the flavor of the month this month? If you're lucky, you get to be the flavor of 2 months, maybe 3, but you're never going to get past that amount because they're always going to lose interest because McMahon doesn't trust anybody. And maybe Rusev isn't really that great. I mean, he's got a good look to him, but I don't know. There's something about Rusev where he's not making the connection for me. Like guys like Jinder Mahal and Baron Corbin, these guys have me sold on them. I'm like, yeah, these guys could definitely be big stars. But something about Rusev, it's just not there. When people talk about these amazing mic skills, I'm not seeing them. Where are they? These people talk about these amazing promos that Rusev cut. Where? Did I miss something? Where were these epic promos? I mean, I was watching the show too. I must have missed something. Could people be exaggerating here in the YWC? Of course not. This is not the same YWC that praises, fucking doofy-looking morons like bitch boy cab driver Sami Zayn. I'm arguing with somebody the other day about Jack Gallagher being over. Now, come on, is anybody really going to dispute me on that claim that Jack Gallagher is not over? Are you really going to tell me that this guy, does he even have a T-shirt? Are people cheering this guy? Do people, tell their friends, oh, by the way, I'm going to Raw because I got to watch Jack Gallagher, because, he's on the level of Stone Cold and The Rock. I mean, that guy always steals the show. I love watching him in his little Speedo with the mustache and umbrella. I mean, this is the wrestling community that we're dealing with nowadays. We are actually looking at these guys as big stars. That's not a big star. That's a joke. Don't try to tell me that a guy like that is over. And not, I didn't mean to really compare Rusev to Gallagher, but people's perspective of who's over and who has the it factor, you ask the YWC and they're going to tell you anybody who could do a springboard, whatchamacallit, is over. Anybody who could do a plancha to the outside, anyone who could do a suicide dive is over. Those guys are not over. Those guys are just good at acrobatics. I mean, you're saying that just because a guy can do a flip, and I don't know what it is, but the YWC gravitates to Rusev. I don't know if it's because they like his hairy chest, that maybe they want to nuzzle their face in it. I don't get it. But enough about Rusev's hairy chest. Let's move on to the main event. Jinder Mahal and Orton. And I kind of wonder, are they going to really make this the main event? Or is it going to be Battleground? Because on all the Battleground posters, they always have that Battleground flag, whatever that flag is. I don't know, but, whatever. It could be Cena, but the world title is just, Jinder Mahal's been in the opening segment. I think Jinder's going to win this match. A lot of people are thinking that Orton's going to win it, but I think that Jinder's probably going to win it. I mean, if Orton just wins it, once again, they're fucking retarded. Because after all that controversy, all of that shit where everyone was all up in arms, how could Jinder win the belt and everything? It was like when The Miz won the belt. Everybody cried, and then everybody just got used to it because he deserved it. And The Miz deserved it too. And Jinder Mahal deserved it just the same. I mean, here was a guy who got pinned by a fucking leprechaun, got pinned by Hornswoggle. I mean, if anyone deserves to be elevated, not just that, but this guy worked hard. He got himself in tremendous shape despite the marks, crying steroids. They wouldn't know a damn thing about working out. They wouldn't know a dumbbell if it hit them in the head. Maybe that should happen. But Jinder Mahal will probably win this. They haven't booked his title run well at all. They haven't booked anyone's title run good in years, now that I think of it. But I kind of see the Singh brothers helping Jinder win again. Wouldn't it be nice, though, to see Jinder actually be tough? I mean, look at Jinder. This guy is even more jacked than Randy Orton. Well, a lot more jacked, in fact. So how could he really have problems with Orton? Since this guy is supposed to be vicious, look at his sneer and everything. It wouldn't be that far-fetched to have him beat the shit out of Orton and climb out of the Punjabi prison, right? So it should be interesting because it's going to be a Punjabi prison, a Pootie Tang prison, whatever the hell it's called. But, I hope Jinder wins. It might be more wishful thinking than anything, but hey, who the fuck knows with WWE? The 50-50 booking, sometimes they throw us a random bone here and there, but, I don't know. I don't understand why they treat Jinder like that. They had enough faith in him to give him the belt, to elevate him. They haven't done that to a lot of people. Usually they have been working on these guys for a while, even though they would lose and lose, like with Dolph Ziggler, for example, and Seth Rollins, but they were always hanging around close to somewhere to the top of the card. But Jinder Mahal was like a big surprise, but there hasn't been enough momentum behind this title run, really, to put it over to the best of its ability. But anyway, there you go, motherfuckers. There's your predictions video. Until next time, and I guess I'll do a review of it. I'll try to get through this show, but this card is not really interesting me that much, but I'll try my damnedest. All right.